Hello, today we'd like to share some reflections from our pedagogical practice and how it connects with what we have learned through this course. So, to begin with, one of the most meaningful parts of this experience was taking time to think about what worked, what didn't, and how much we've grown as future English teachers. So we think it's not just about planning lessons, it's also about understanding our students, adapting to challenges, and finding motivations in a small moment of progress. Another important part of this journey was in how our understanding of language acquisition theories evolved. At the start, these ideas felt a bit abstract, but after observing real classes and connecting theory with practice, we could really see how approaches like input, interaction, and scaffolding play out in real learning environments that help us to think more critically about our role as a facilitator in the classroom. During the pedagogical practice, which was carried out through participant observation of the inbuilt classes, I was able to understand important aspects of effective language teaching, and I observed how the teacher managed the class time and maintained students' attention, which is especially challenging in a virtual environment where interruptions and technical problems can happen. I also saw how providing clear and immediate feedback help students improve and stay motivated. Also, that the use of encouragement and correction in a positive way uh, showed me the importance of supporting learners emotionally during the process. Additionally, I realized the value of planning and being flexible during the lesson, as unexpected situations require quick solutions to keep the flow of the class. And I would like to say that this experience helped me understand how classroom management and good communication skills are essential for the successful language teaching, especially in online environments. And also, I learned how the language acquisition theories connect with real teaching practices. For example, I noticed how important it is to provide students with comprehensible input that matches their level, which relates to theories like Russian's input hypothesis. And I also observed the role of social interaction and teacher support during activities, showing how Vygotsky sociocultural theory works in practice through guidance and collaboration. Moreover, I became aware of specific challenges in virtual classes, such as managing interruptions and keeping students engaged without physical presence, which made me realize that effective use of technology and clear communication are factors for successful learning. Overall, this observation helped me see how theoretical ideas about um, language learning can guide practical decisions in the classroom, especially in context of online teaching.
The most rewarding aspect of my pedagogical practice experience was seeing how my students truly engaged and made progress in their English learning, implementing strategies like problem-based learning and using gamification made a huge difference in their motivation. By the scene changing and dynamic activities, I saw how they began to participate more actively and use the language more naturally, and additionally applying the community language teaching approach allowed me to create an environment where students feel comfortable making mistakes and learning from team. Real life conversation, role playing, and debates helping team to lose you and gain confidence as well also incredibly satisfying to incorporate technology tools such as interactive platform and argument realities tool not only made the lesson more engaging but also enabled a more collaborative and hands-on learning experience, which in my student enjoy the process where learning was without about the most valued part for me.
Hello, my name is Stefania, and today I'm briefly share my experience in teaching practice and what I learned the language acquisition course. One of the most rewarding aspects of my internships was seeing how motivated, engaged, and successful students were. Being able to apply what I learned and see results was invaluable to me, but professionally and personally. During the course, in my understanding of language acquisition theories involved significantly. I learned that there's no one way to learn a language, and that factors such as age, motivation, environment, and social interaction are key.
At the beginning of the course, I had a fairly general idea of how people learn a second language, but as I delved deeper into the reading and content from Unity 1, my perspective completely changed. I realized that learning a language goes for beyond memorizing vocabulary of grammar rules. There are both internationally and external factors that daily influence the process, such as motivation, age, social environment, and how the brain processes language. I was especially struck by distinction between implicit and explicit language learning. Many times students learn without even realizing it used by being exposed to the language, while at the other rules they need clear explains on rules. I learning that the ideal approach is combined both methods. I also discovered the importance of teaching learning strategies isn't enough to use teach English. We need to teach students how to learn English. This experience may support my students in become more autonomous, encouraging them to reflect on their own the process and discover what were best doing. Finally, I come to understand that the current text, especially with all the technology available, is defining the what is learning language.
This approach not only strengthens language learning but also fundamental values such as empathy and respect without about the Agora event was an enriching opportunity to reflect on our teaching work and how to adapt it current colleges. Thank you. Okay, my overall assessment of the presented product is very effective and positive. I found it invaluable to see how each group approach different educational contexts from traditional and classroom presential or virtual and multicultural environments. The posters were well structured and demonstrate a deep understanding of didactics and it in applications in English teaching. One activity I found particularly innovative and effective was the one promoting inclusion in multicultural context.
The most effective poster, in my opinion, was one that focused on teaching an English class without explicit grammar. Instead of presenting grammar rules, the approach was to design didactic activities around real life situations and meaningful topics. Through this method, students naturally practice all four language skills: listening, speaking, writing, and reading. So while engaging with content that feel relevant and useful, I think this kind of task-based learning promotes communication and fluency, and it reflects about a more authentic use of language. Also, I found this strategy particularly innovative and effective because it puts language into context rather than isolating it as a set of abstract rules.